Hold on one second here. Broadcast settings. I don't like the view common screen sometimes. Advanced settings. No, I will not display that. Okay, so I'm on air, as you can see. So what you're going to come to is, if you can see it right now, let me know. Alright, hold on. I'm going to put my phone on the charger. The share play isn't working, unfortunately, so this is like the next best thing. Oh, matter of fact, I have a longer cable. I forgot about that. 1 second. Hate the fact my fucking PlayStation sounds like a goddamn jet engine. Ugh. New subscriber, Gerald Dale. Well, welcome to the channel, my friend. Alright, okay. Yes, I'm live right now. Alright, cool. As you can see how far that video is, about maybe, I don't know, 15 seconds behind. That's like 10 seconds. Not a problem, alright. So you can actually get a whole bunch of like decorations for your ship. Well, in the beginning of the game, you'll have a tutorial of how to basically control your Warframe and stuff like that. So you get 3 Warframes you can select from the start. This one is called Excalibur. He's pretty much like the main character of the game in a way. But there are many other different Warframes to choose from, of course, later on when you be able to receive their parts. But the first 3 would be Excalibur here. Mag. And Volt. So these are the 3 that you will basically start up with. Now Excalibur is pretty much your, I would say, your beginner frame, very evenly balanced. Obviously proficient with swords. He's a sword master, thanks to, of course, a few of his special moves. Pretty good armor, pretty good health, so you're able to kind of survive a little bit longer than some other Warframes can in some way, so kind of like a basic package. But he's very proficient in blades, like I mentioned, and he has a he has pretty much like a good passive ability for him to gain more damage when it comes to sword type weapons. So any type of swords like this, like a katana, the Nikana, which is basically a large katana weapon, but this one's like a sort of like a basic sword weapon, like Skana is what it's called. You get that in the very beginning, but he's very proficient with that, so he'll get extra damage just because. Mag is a Warframe that has, as her name implies, has magnetic abilities. So she's able to warp the enemy shields by pulling them, kind of tearing them apart with her abilities, like for example pull, which pulls the enemy toward you. There's also special mods you can actually use to pull items toward you as well for like quicker recovery, or just quicker, getting resources, etc., etc. She has high shield ability, so if you have like a shield mod to protect yourself from a lot of damage, she has a high count of that, so she's able to kind of sustain a lot more damage that way. Lot less armor, so she can get killed with her health, but at the same time she has a lot of things to kind of back her up against that. Volt is the last one of the beginner ones, in which he has electric abilities. So shocking, putting up an electric barrier to protect yourself from enemy attacks, and just basically shocking everything to hell in a blast radius. And he also has a speed technique that he actually gains by moving so quick, but also affects the enemy, affects his teammates around him, and definitely affects his melee attacking speed as well, which is pretty cool. There's a whole bunch of different modifications that you can use to upgrade your Warframe's techniques. Same thing with weapons. So I'll go to the mod screen here. Now, in the very beginning, you go through the tutorial, but you'll also have to kind of put these things into your ship. So you'll be sending out fetch missions just to put certain segments into your ship. So you have the modding area here. You have one for the foundry to build your weapons. You have one for obviously the arsenal to switch weapons or switch warframes on the fly if you have them available. And also the market to buy your items here. As you can see, there are things that are always going to be refreshed about it. Maybe every update you have something new. Plenty of different cosmetic things to choose from. Obviously, each one is going to cost platinum to buy. Now, platinum is not necessarily super hard to get. Just like you see with Grand Theft Auto getting shark cards, gaining money, it's a little bit different. Credits are you can earn in-game no problem, but platinum, the premium currency, excuse me, you'll need to trade with other players, or if you choose to spend real money on those platinum items, you can do so at any time. But there are plenty of different cosmetics that you can choose from different types of Warframe helmets, different types of like sort of Cyandanas, which is like scarves you put onto your back to kind of make it look cool. Some of them will have like special effects depending on what you do. Some armor pieces you can wear around your Warframe. Different weapon skins, etc., etc. There's plenty of different things you can do to customize every single facet of your Warframe piece. From just like the color palette here, and I'll show you many different color palettes you can have in the game. So a whole assortment of different colors. Each one of these costs platinum, but there are times in the game where they only cost maybe a small amount of credits, or they're basically for free for certain events, like depending on the holidays or certain things that the developers are doing. But you'll see a lot of these. One of the things I will definitely go with would be the Tenno pack, which you have a large assortment of colors off the fly. As you can see, my Excalibur changing colors randomly here. I have the black on, but blue, green, turquoise, you name it. Any colors you can kind of find in this pack here to kind of have a much more of a differentiation between different Warframes. You can have so. So different helmets that you can buy for your Warframes, and some of them are kind of like special. You can find them only in the like special events, or you can get them in the PlayStation Store. If they're available as well. Some of them may not be available for a small amount of time, but later on they may be available again, depending on what they feel like putting out there. And there's plenty of them for like Excalibur, for example, like new stuff that comes out with the Tenno Gen. Tenno Gen is basically a creative program for people to basically make their own Warframe skins or designs, weapon designs, and basically send them to the developers so that way they can improve them and see which one's the best and stuff like that, and then might be featured on there. And also you'll see when selecting a certain skin, you'll see that the person or their username will be right there on the side of the screen. You'll say, hey, this one was developed by such and such. Okay. Also, this is your arsenal here. As you can see, you have your upgrade screen, your equipment screen, of course, to be able to equip any items that you can, your appearance, to change the colors of the Warframe, of course, the abilities you can see by pressing R2, see what kind of abilities that the Warframe has and what they do. For example, with Excalibur, this is slash dash, like one of my favorite techniques for him, because he's able to dash forward with energy and be able to slice his opponents left and right. He can use this continuously if he has enough energy, and also he can be rendered invincible for a short amount of time while doing so in between slashes. Radio blind is one of my also favorite techniques too, because it blinds the area and radius of the enemies, so that way you're able to just take them out with finishing moves of melee and have your teammates kind of just fucking kick ass. Radio javelin is another one. So Excalibur, you see the animation there where Excalibur kind of slams the ground with his sword, and basically swords impale them to walls. Very, very powerful. Now on the bottom of the screen you will see that what the effects of the move do, whether they drain a certain amount of energy at a certain amount of time, the blast radius, how far the range of the attack goes, the damage, etc. And Excalibur's most powerful attack, the Exalted Blade, which is probably one of the most effective moves in the game, because as long as he has energy, he can continuously swing his sword, doing massive amounts of damage. And obviously these things can be modified with mods to make them even stronger and much more proficient, to keep it going longer without having draining energy as fast. Just kind of get an idea what that is. But here is your upgrade screen. If you press triangle here, of all the mods that you collect into the game, this is what you could put on your Warframe. This is a much deeper scale, so this is basically the bread and butter of Warframe here. Mods are always important. They're essential to basically having your Warframe survive and be as fast and be as strong as possible, as far as you know, progressing through the game and having harder enemies come your way. I'll explain the whole mod section in a second. I know this is going to be a very detailed one, so hopefully you're still with me on this. Plenty of different mods of playing for the last 6 years. You'll see hundreds of thousands of mods you have here, but you can gain them over time by either just finding the enemies, killing them, or trading with different players as well for free, or for if they come at a price depending on the rarity of the mod and stuff like that. So you have plenty of different things. Now, primary weapons. You can carry anything from bows and arrows to machine guns, to shotguns, to sniper rifles, to beam weapons, to anything is basically kind of out of the ordinary you can carry here in this game. There's plenty of different ways and plenty of different methods to find specific weapons. A lot of them are very, very easy to find. A lot of them are just basically simple credit buys. You can just buy in the market for credits. You can make them in the foundry, wait 12 hours, and then bam, you have a weapon available to use. You can only carry a certain amount of weapons at a time in your arsenal, but you're able to increase the count of the weapons by using it for platinum, or when you gain level, you're able to have a weapon slot or a Warframe slot available for you later on to get to be increased. Secondary weapons with submachine guns and some hand shotguns, anything out of the ordinary. You have like crossbows, dual machine guns, akimbo weapons, throwing daggers, beam type weapons, some launchers, etc., etc., kunais, you name it. This game has a variety of weapons that you can buy here. And of course the bread and butter, with my personal favorite, I'm a melee type weapon, so I like swords and daggers and things like that, but definitely bow stabs, the katana, dragging the katana here. Anything from rapiers to dual type weapons to almost saber-like weapons in a way. You can have them here. Machetes, katanas, sais, you have it. Machetes, you have them all. Even gun blades, whips, hammers, sword and shields, you name it. You can get a whole fist weapons, claws. You can get a whole bunch of different things, and of course in the game there are ways that you can be able to sort of make your own weapon from certain parts. There's a large area. There's a couple of large areas that you can do that in this game too. So it's like kind of like an open field where you're able to kind of shop around and talk to people and get some information and a variety of different things that you can do to bide your time while things are working in the foundry, or if you have some other things going on, you can just kind of bide your time with doing those things, or even meeting other players. The Parazon was something that's basically new in the game, and this has a lot to do with basically your Warframe sort of abilities with hacking and some other stuff. But you'll be able to hack a lot of like consoles for like disarming alarms, and a variety of other different things that you can do, like opening doors, etc., etc. You still with me? And no one is here. Okay, cool. Your PS4 froze out. It sucks. But yeah. But yeah, there's a whole lot of things going on here. I'm gonna take a look. Yeah, I just noticed. So, But basically just explaining everything of the game as a whole. There's also some tutorials that you may be able to find here in case you get stuck or nobody's around you to kind of answer some of your questions. For example, if you decide to go to the mod screen, for example, on the bottom right hand corner of the screen you'll see R2 is a tutorial, so it kind of gives you an idea of what to do if you decide to get like any information that'll help your way. So obviously unlocking your powers, arsenal, special upgrades and mods. There's hundreds of mods you can choose from. There's plenty of mods that you can combine with. Now a lot of them I will have to say are practically useless in some cases, but I'll try to make sure that you get kind of the best mods for your Warframe's you know, abilities to make sure you're much more effective in combat. As you can see with the mods here, it will tell you the rarity of the top here, the drain, the polarity, the item, the fusion, all these things. It will describe them on the left side of the screen, describing each one. This game can get very deep with the mod section, and combining mods on your particular Warframe or weapons will to have a certain effect. Mostly your weapons, like elemental things, for instance like heat, ice, electricity, any of those things, poison, those will kind of work in your favor by combining those specific mods and having like a certain effect with your weapon. I give an example. You have hot, like heat mods, and you have ice, which basically makes it into a blast, and you will see that. So blast weapons are essentially a little more explosive. You can use them on your melee weapons. You can use them on certain type of weapons like bows and arrows, kind of have like sort of an explosive effect here and there, but enemies will start flying a whole lot more once you slam the ground with a melee weapon and do some other things with them. Poison, you can obviously toxify your enemies. Poison and heat will create this gas effect where it's like a much more effective like heat slash like poison effect with your enemies. And so, there's a faction called the Infested, which is basically an amalgamation of these two factions that were basically tested and make this monstrous mess. They're weak against fire, but not only that, they're weak against certain elements of like gas and heat and other stuff like that. Each of these mods are upgradable. As you see at the bottom of the screen is a fusion. What you'll get is a resource called Endo. You get that every time you kill an enemy. You'll see that pretty much on the ground. It's like a little shiny sphere. Endo is the resource in order to upgrade your mods to its capacity. The more Endo that you have, obviously the more that the mod requires, depending on the level of the mod. For example, you have 3, you have 5, and then you have 10. Now some of them are bronze, silver, and gold. Bronze obviously are common, silver is uncommon, and the gold is rare. And then you have special mods that you might be able to find during a couple of, let's say for example, the Void Trader. He is a special guy that comes every other Friday morning. He sells the primed mods, which are obviously upgraded versions of some of the mods you will find by walking of, like, you know, taking out an everyday enemy essentially. They cost a whole lot more Endo. They're much more rare, and they're super effective with, especially your Warframe mods, like give a perfect example, Flow. Flow is a mod that increases your energy count, and that's always great for, you know, if you want to spam your abilities on certain enemies, you can do so. There's a primed version of that, and it has it gives you a whole lot more energy count, more than you ever had before, so you're able to use your powers a whole lot more frequently. I'll show you an example here. I'm not using alphabetical order, so I'm going to basically do, like, say, name. I'll do name here, go all the way over here. So intensify, you'll have, like, you know, ability strength, increase the strength of the enemies, of the Warframe's powers. There's flow right here, for example, and then there's a primed flow, which you'll find only with that, but you'll be able to trade with other players, so you have 2 of them. But I can get more if he shows up with more, or I can trade with other players. Instead of having that 150, I have a 275% maximum energy output, so I have a whole lot more energy to go around and then be able to spam my shit, and get left with enough room to continue. So let me see. Alright, back on air here. So this is your navigation, which you're probably going to be doing a lot of this. Now this is the, obviously, where you're going to be having all of your, missions, the solar system here. Everything from, Earth to Neptune. You have some additions like Ceres, which obviously in real life they're asteroids. And set, of course, up top, Ares. The Void, which is like a little special place that you can go to face well, it's no longer sort of special the way they designed the game now. It's been that way for some time now, but you used to be required keys in order to gain access to this particular area, but they made it to where you could connect it just basically by completing certain areas, and going to them and unlocking them and be able to go here. Now you don't necessarily have to unlock them yourself. In this game, you are able to piggyback on somebody. If somebody has a mission available to you, you can ask them to kind of help you out. They'll invite you to their session or their lobby and be able to just take you to that place. Even if you have it locked, you're able to do so. Now, some areas you cannot because it requires certain things, like certain keys, for example, or just let's say you'll have to do like certain requirements in order for you to become like in their mission, or like quest missions or stuff like that. You have to have like certain requirements for you to join them. Okay. And with each planet, there's plenty of different missions that you can go to. Everything from exterminate missions, which basically take out every single enemy that's in the area. There's always a limit of enemies you can take out. In the beginning, it's usually about maybe 25 to 30. You take that out, you go to the extraction point, and then you're in the mission. Game over. You come back to the ship and then repeat the process if you want to continue to look for specific mods, or just look around the secrets, kind of getting familiarizing yourself with just the area itself. There is defense missions. Well, let's go with capture missions. Capture missions, which you capture a target, you got an assignment, capture a target real quick. Once you do that, you're in the mission. Probably the fastest mission that you'll be able to see. Welcome back. So defense missions, defending a specific target, which in the middle is usually in the middle. There's like a cryopod or some kind of like thing that you have to defend from waves of enemies. Defense missions are endless. So every five waves in the defense mission, you have an option to either stay or you have an option to leave. But the longer that you continue in the mission, you're able to get rewards after rewards after rewards. However, the longer that you stay in these missions, obviously the enemy's defensive and attacking abilities, the levels will grow up higher and higher and higher infinitely. So essentially it's how long you're able to survive. Every 5 waves, you can't leave before 5 waves unless you quit the mission, but you will lose all your progress. So all you have to do is every 5 waves, if you decide to leave the mission, you can leave the mission, and you just basically retain everything that you had during that mission. The same thing goes for survival. Survival missions are, they can be arduous if you don't have the right team. What they require is you need life support capsules to keep generating, because you're going to run out of life support. The stupid thing is they had it in Earth, which Earth was already some kind of like wide open area, so it wouldn't make sense to kind of, you know, drain life support from a fucking planet. It didn't make sense to that, so they changed it and took off, you know, survival missions from Earth and put them in other places that don't have an atmosphere, obviously, or at least some kind of breathable atmosphere. So I go to Venus. A lot of these are, you know, essentially, you know, repeated missions, you know, spy missions. You have to kind of sneak around, make sure you don't get caught before they actually take out the prisoner, or that you're you know, rescuing, or whatever the case is. Mobile defense is same like defense, but instead you're basically moving from one place to another once the timer runs out. You have to defend a target for a certain amount of time. You got to take this key and then place it into another console in order for Lotus, which is basically the, I'll say, well, one of the main characters in the game as well, which she has a large backstory, but I'll explain that later. What she will do is she's kind of like the moderator in this game, where she kind of guides the Tenno to complete their mission. But what will happen is that whole thing will be hacked. The timer will run out as long as you defend it without having the enemies take it out, and then you move to the next spot. That's what basically mobile defense is. Explain spy. Assassination missions, if you will see, like this for example, it's basically going to a boss fight. Any assassination is a boss fight there, and you'll see the target, you see the level that's required there, and how many open squads there are. So if you're by yourself, you want to do an open squad, open lobby, you might be able to find some people to join in, or they'll join with you, and then you'll be able to take them out together, stuff like that. That's how I kind of made all my friends, by just conversing with them and, you know, doing all that stuff. I'm going to go ahead and change my loadout here. So weapon loadouts, you can just basically have a loadout for everything that you want to, whatever Warframe that you have, set as a current loadout. Kind of get comfortable with certain missions. That's my Excalibur Umbra there. I'll show you how to get him later on, but it takes a while to get, but he's available. But you have to reach like a certain rank in order to do so, and I'll explain that too. The dojo is your clan dojo. You're able to have a clan of many people. You can get up to like maybe 10. You can have 30. You can have 100. You can have about a few hundred, 300 people, or 1,000 people in your clan, depending on the type of clan tiers there are. So there's Shadow, there's Ghost, there's Shadow, there's Storm, there's Mountain, and then there's Moon clans. So the Storm clans, or I would say the Ghost clans, are basically a small amount of people, like 10 people to a clan. Kind of like the best thing about it, honestly. You don't really want that many people in the clan. The Shadow clan has 30 people. Storm clan has 100. The Mountain has 300, and then the Moon clan has 1,000 people that you can actually add to your clan. The more people that you have in a clan, however, in your dojo, you're able to do research on specific weapons and items that you can have available. These are the build requirements for them, and then you take them out of time just to get the blueprints, so that way you can craft them in your foundries, guarding resources. The more people that you have in your clan, however, the more the resources count will go up. So it's kind of best to kind of stay with a lower tiered clan, just because you don't want to spend hours and hours trying to get a whole lot more unnecessary resources that you don't have to get in order to craft a specific weapon or item that you want to have, or Warframe in particular. And there's plenty of different rooms in the game. This one's the Tenor Lab, so you can actually get some of the Warframes that you see here in the window here. That's Volt, which I mentioned, but of course he's always a beginner frame, so if you want to start it with him, you can start it with him. But I would recommend starting with Excalibur, just because it's very, very easy for you to get Volt as a side one immediately after that, because he's already available in my dojo should you join mine. The resources and everything is already done for it. You just need to get the resources yourself by missions just to craft them for a few days. You have Banshee, which is, as her name implies, the sonic sounding Warframe. She's able to kind of do a lot of crazy things with just her abilities alone. One of her abilities actually acts as a sonar, which the move is called sonar. So in your map, in the top left hand corner of the screen, you can see enemies that come near you blinking red on the map. Kind of easy to detect them. And then she has a Soundquake ability, which shakes the ground so violently that it damages enemies on contact. And then you have Zephyr, which is the bird Warframe. She's able to fly. Her abilities, she's very quick, very nimble, very hover friendly. She can definitely hover into the air because she's very bird-like. Good amount of, actually a high amount of health and shields. She definitely has some great combat ability. She can actually throw tornadoes as for a special attack, throwing tornadoes in the air. Anybody that comes in contact with them will definitely be swung into oblivion or damaged heavily. Nice little cool effects you can do with the tornadoes too. I.e., if you have like an electric weapon, you could shoot into the tornado and it'd be turned into an electrified fucking tornado, which is pretty awesome for her. She was definitely one of my favorites out there back in the day when I used her quite a bit. Just because of her flying abilities. She can fly anywhere around the map. And do a nosedive. It's like a dive bomb that kind of shakes the ground violently and knocks enemies on their ass. Which is really fucking awesome. But, this is the clan dojo here. As you can see, you can have many different parts that you can customize. And now the room itself is just basically going to be staying the way it is. But, for example, I'll go to the Decorate Dojo. In the dojo here, you have plenty of decorations that you can use to customize your own field, your own look, and there's so many different dojos out here, and they look fantastic by just having minds come together to assemble some of the crazy shit that they can think of. It's amazing what they can think of with just even the most common things you'll see here on this screen. So you're basically creative to your heart's content. Anything from ice walls to pillars to stone tablets to consoles, electrified consoles, you name it. Bells, fish ponds, all of this stuff like that. You can rocks here, staircases, benches, flowers, towers, whatever the case you want to make, you can customize your own thing and kind of put them together. Now, a lot of the people what they will do is they will combine a lot of these parts and make kind of machine creatures out of them, which is very fascinating. You'll see a lot of that on some of the featured dojos in the screen. Once you go into the navigation screen, you'll see that, like the 5 top dojos in that I guess maybe a particular week or something like that always features something different every time. But people who are very creative will definitely get featured on the PlayStation 4, Xbox, or PS4, PC. You'll see that quite a bit, like how creative that they really are. Now, this is basically what I did a lot of this myself. I did have some hand in it with a couple of things, of course, but a lot of this was basically me. I wish I had much more of a clan to kind of play with, but I kind of put the dragons here with the flames in it. It would look nice in the mouth, but I figured, you know what, it's a lot more kind of intimidating actually how to have it in his fingertips. So I guess maybe I'll move that, but it looks pretty damn good. You can change the lighting in the room by having a polychrome thing here. You gotta actually get colors from certain enemies. There's a whole different thing with that, but it's a bit tedious. However, you can actually customize the colors of your dojo if you have everything available. This is still obviously a work in progress. This is not finished, but I kind of like the results so far, but I know a lot of things are going to be changed, especially with some of the shit that I've seen. So I have some inspiration for some of those people, not to obviously copy their abilities, but also just to kind of, get an idea of what I really want to do if they have an idea spark in my head. Here, I want to put this here, etc., etc. The dojo can carry many rooms. none of them really have necessarily, like, super great uses for them, but they're just basically there for decoration if you want to, stuff like that. You can put an obstacle course in here. The observatory, you can actually do it this time around, where now you can actually go, instead of having to go to your ship, you can navigate to any type of place on the star chart just to do a mission with your squad in the dojo, which I think is a pretty neat idea. I think it had a long time coming, but I love that feature. Here's the observatory here. Of course, as you can see, some of the stuff that I did. These are basically the combinations of what I did here, the rings and the energy flowing through them. The dragons with the fire, the little console here, which is not finished, obviously, it's still yellow, but you kind of get an idea of what you can do in the game here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to exit the dojo here. Oh, no, I'm not going to, no. Well, first, let me go back. I'll show you the other rooms, of course, because I know for a fact that there's plenty of different rooms that you can do research on here. This is the energy lab. What you will see, a lot of beam type weapons, because the Corpus faction, obviously they're like a mechanical, group. They definitely have their hand in technology, and you can see the results here. Plenty of weapons that shoot beams, any like lasers in particular, do a lot of powerful damage, and then some odd-looking weapons, but you'll get the point here. On this side, I believe it's the Tenno Lab. Yeah, okay, came from that. This side, of course, is the Chemical Lab. So a lot of this is the Chemical Lab, is what the Grineer, which you will see the Grineer, what they look like eventually, what they develop, and these are kind of sort of like their weapons that they develop here. Anything from like the Ogre's rocket launcher, the Ignis fire launcher, the fire flamethrower, stuff like that. Those things will be available to you. We step on this tree. Yeah, I know some of the games are crazy, but of course the Biolab is where the infested based weapons are, and a lot of these will have some kind of like very parasitic effects, some of like poison or some other stuff, but it's pretty cool to take a look at that. My man Snake joins the party. How you doing, Snake? Long time. I'll wait for his mic to come up into this this chat here. But Gerald, do you follow me so far? I mean, everything is.
Yeah, I'm understanding it.
Okay. So I want to make sure you're still with me and everything. Just means a lot to explain, and I'm trying to just kind of ease my way through. Not trying to overwhelm you, but there's so much that you can see. There's so much to really kind of do in the game. Oh, the dojo is actually one of few places that you can trade your items to other players. I forgot to mention that. This console here is the trading console, which you can trade up to 6 particular items. Now, they have to be specific. You can't trade everything in the game, but what you can trade, the most important things would be obviously mods. You can trade some weapon parts, but they have to be specific to prime weapon parts. It can't be any like regular weapon. Well, there's no regular weapon parts. Well, there's some, but they're few and far between. You get them from like special stuff, but they have to be prime specific. The same thing goes for warframes. Like the primes, parts to build your warframes have to be traded here for platinum and anything else that you want to trade them for. So you can trade to your heart's content. I could trade quite a bit of things, or to people, because my rank is actually very high, and I meant to explain that here. So at the top of your screen, when I pause here, you see a number next to your name, and there's a little symbol right here, of course, a rank symbol. My rank is 25. Okay. The highest in the game is 27. And I'll explain how this works. every single weapon, warframe, or companion that you have, a companion which you see a little thing kind of floating above me. That's one of your companions that you can get. This one is called Helios Prime. Now, I know the armor is a little bit special, but you can get Helios Prime by trading with other players. But there are plenty of different other ones you can get. You can either get a dog, so to speak, or you can get a cat as well, called the Gavat. So the dogs are called what the fuck are they called? We're just calling dogs for now, because I kind of have a little bit of a brain fart. Yeah, a little bit of a brain fart, but the dogs are called the Kubro. Excuse me, the Kubro. Yeah, so like Kubro. And then you have the cats that are called the Gavat. And they go alongside you. Well, of course, you can pet them in your ship and stuff like that. Little cool little tricks, but they aid you in combat. They can be pretty vicious in combat too. So if you have them upgraded very heavily, they can do a lot of things, a lot of good things for you, and a lot of bad damage to them. So everything that you rank up has obviously a level. As you see here, the maximum rank is 30 on each and every weapon, item, or warframe in this game. But just because your rank is 30 doesn't necessarily mean that you're particularly done with it, and I'll explain. Think of it like Call of Duty's prestige system. How you max out your stats, all of a sudden, you kind of want to further that prestige, so to speak. You could kind of do the same thing like this. With a warframe, you have, for example, go to the arsenal. I'll go to my Scalar Umbra here. Go to upgrade. So my rank is 30 here. Alright. But I'm able to sort of further enhance him because of the mods that I have on this game. A whole bunch of mods that you can be able to get and obtain and put them on your warframe. There's a capacity counter here that allows you to put your mods on your warframe. Obviously, it takes away the capacity. So I have a handspring here. On the right top hand corner, you'll see the number 9 next to it. Now, that's the amount of drain that it takes away from your capacity. Each warframe in particular will have specific symbols on... Well, each mod has a specific symbol, but... Let's remove this, for example. Let's remove this one. Some warframes will have specific polarity slots, and the symbols there are called polarity slots, in which you'll be able to put the specific mod tailored to that polarity slot and put it here. And what that does is, say for example, if you don't have enough capacity to put that mod on, you could be able to match that symbol, and now the mod costs half of what it previously did, making it a lot easier for you to rank up that mod to make it much more effective than before. If you put the same mod on the wrong slot, you see it in red, it basically it costs a whole lot more capacity than it should. Not a good look, because you want to keep as much capacity as possible. That way you rank up all the mods that you have at maximum to be much more effective than before. I'll put back my quick thinking, and I'll put back my other mod as well. Quick thinking here.
How's it going, Snake?
Say it again?
I was just saying, how's it going?
Yeah, Snake, what's up, man? How you been? Yeah. This year's almost over. But guess what? More bullshit next year. Yay! Yes, I don't want to go through the bullshit, but it is what it is, man. Yeah. I know you miss talking to me. I miss talking to you too, bro. It's all good. But I've been around. I've been around. Just been kind of, I don't know how to describe it.
Been taking care of business.
Say it again?
They've just been taking care of business.
Yeah, pretty much. So. Yeah, man.
That's all you can do.
But this game is definitely very deep. I'm gonna go ahead and go to a mission type real quick. So I'll go to solo.
Are you online?
I am now. I am online now, no doubt. Have you finished downloading Warframe so far?
No, it still has a little bit to go.
Okay, no, we'll take your time. Once you get into the game, you'll have to do the tutorial first, but you should be able to invite me to, I think, like a little bit through maybe the first couple missions, be able to invite me, and I'll be able to kind of sort of like, you know, protect you and guide you a little bit, so that way you get a feel for the combat. But I'll show you right here. I'll go to Earth, and I'll go to, let's say, an exterminate mission. No problem. It's just basically 1 to 3. Like some of the Earth is like the easiest place you could really go. They'll probably start you off here anyway, because this basically was based off. Let's see. Have you ever played Destiny before? You kind of see some familiar loading screens in a way.
Destiny 1 and 2.
Yeah. So, but like I said, this game is far and away better than Destiny. A lot more content and everything. Plus, it's free. So much shit to do. There is a PvP component to this game, but like I said, people only play it maybe sparingly. You might find some matches here and there, but it's very, very sparse. So the idea of the game is basically as cooperative as possible. That's the bread and butter of this game. So that's me moving. The game can get very fast. I'm primarily a melee user, of course. But what I'm fighting right now is the Grenier. They're pretty much the faction that basically just want to take over everything, and this is their home world. They took over Earth in this game, so this is where they come from, essentially. Obviously, many, many years down the line. Oh, I realized I was there. Okay. Yeah, like cutting bitches in half or pieces. It's pretty fun. So exterminate, as you can see in the left hand corner of the screen, 13 out of the 27 just basically killed the enemies in this game. The game can definitely get very, very fast. Movement is always key in this game. Movement is very, very important. Okay, and you'll see in the tutorial, of course, later on. Once you download the game and finish it, you'll be able to see the beginning of how they teach you how to play the game effectively. So, of course, you have your running, L3 to sprint, which L3 to sprint is essentially common in a lot of other games out there, especially when it comes to first-person shooters. Sliding around, flipping, moving at light speed, moving at a very quick speed just to complete the mission faster. You can glide through the air to kind of get that sort of a momentum to kind of go through large gaps. You can hang on the walls for a short amount of time. Alright, that's Lotus, of course. Basically, saying what we gotta do. Go to the extraction point. Oh, I gotta go down, because it's down that way, not up. Now, if you sneak up behind an enemy, a lot of times you'll be able to do a finisher just like that. Yeah, and the AI is not the smartest in the shed, obviously. Not the smartest here. But it is what it is. Most games that have AI are not very smart to begin with, most of the time, like I said. Alright. course, is the end of the mission there. Go into your ship, and you just basically start over if you want to. Replay the same mission over and over again, or try something else. But once you have your star chart, complete certain missions will unlock others. And then once you just do that once, you ain't gotta do it again if you don't have to, unless you're looking for specific things or stuff like that. Alright. What time is it now? It's 10:29. My goodness. My goodness. Alright. Alright. That's just, of course, some of the basics here. Any questions so far before I continue?
Oh, I'm alright right now.
Alright. Well, if you
I'm
definitely
watching
get...
now.
Oh, shit. Oh, no, my phone. Alright. Oh, so I have... Oh, I got more comments coming the way. Let's see. Yeah, sure. I'm always open to actually giving people help if they need to. I know that I have not been playing the game as much as I like to, with other stuff going on, so I'm not really behind, but I definitely would help as much as I can, so what I know so far of the game. What do you need help with? Oh, and of course, Michael Vork, welcome to the channel. Ah, sacrifice quest, of course. Now, what is your mastery rank? Oh, and yes, I definitely want to continue what I'm saying about the mastery rank before I continue with that, Michael. Chains of Harl, alright. As you can see in the top left-hand corner of the screen, 25 is the mastery rank. Now, as I was mentioning earlier, ranking up all of your warframes and weapons will increase your rank for the warframes, of course, but it'd be better if I show you here instead of explaining and kind of studying all over the place. So, I'm on rank 25, and here, this is what you're going to see with the next rank, and what the next rank is going to be, and how many points. There's a certain amount of points that you can get for warframe and weapon, and everything else, companion, etc., etc. For each rank of 30, for a weapon you rank up one time, that's 100 points. So 100 points times 30. Obviously that equals 3,000. So you get 3,000 points when it comes to a weapon ranking up to rank 30. For a warframe is double that. Instead of 3,000 you get 6,000. Same thing with companions, and the same thing with, well, the companions and sentinels, any companion in general. Sentinels, Kavats, and crew bros all give you 6,000 points of mastery rank. Okay? Now, with each mastery rank, there is a test that you have to complete. The first 3 tests are very easy, basically straightforward shit. All you do is complete it, destroy the certain enemies around a certain amount of time. The first thing you're going to do is do it with your primary weapon, then your secondary weapon for the second test, then the melee weapon for the third test, so on and so on. You can only take the test once per day, so once every 24 hours. Also, if you fail your test, then you will definitely need to, well, wait 24 hours in order to try again, exactly from the time you did it. Also, the same thing goes if you pass. So you can't just keep stacking on and stacking on. Say, for example, you have a whole bunch of things you ranked up. You have to do the test once per day. And Gerald, I'll definitely show you that once, or I should probably just say down, but I'll definitely go ahead and show you that too. So Michael here is a master rank 9. Okay. Hello, Red Zom. I typically don't do these often, but I might be here for a while till my buddy joins Warframe for the first time. He's gonna download it and I'll show him the ropes. So I'm definitely going to give him the best thing I can give him, best advice I can give him. So, Michael, are you in Warframe right now? If you are, then if you give me the username, I can go ahead and invite you to the squad. So that way, or matter of fact, you can invite me. If you see my name up top, you can just basically type that in, send me an invite, and I'll be able to join you.
Snake, are you online? How many are in your lobby?
What'd you play, Snake? Okay. Alright. Well, yeah, I mean, this game I've played for 6 years, so I feel like, you know what, hey, it's a really good game. If depending if you guys like the competitive, the cooperative scene, just you know, it's a lot of fun. Definitely, it's a lot of fun. So you see me just fucking moving around and flying around my goddamn dojo back and forth, which is pretty cool. Movement, like I said, is everything in this game. Ah, CeeLo Key 556. That's you. Awesome. I'm going to accept. Nice of you to join me. Nice of you to join me. Alright, that's Chris Prime, Taco Assistant. So, whatever that you need to, I guess, get in there.
I got 4 hours left until it's done.
4 hours? Holy fuck.
I'm only at 6 gigabytes out of 42.
Wow. Do you have any other games running right? Whoa, wait a minute. You're playing a game, aren't you?
Nope.
You're not playing anything?
Nope.
No applications are open.
No, I closed everything down.
What the fuck? Okay. See, what you need to do is probably, you need to kind of grab your cable. If you have an Ethernet cable, you probably should just get a longer one. Drag that shit all the way down to the damn modem or whatever the hell you have it, and just fucking let it rip. Like, have it in the system. Trust me, it's significantly faster that way. Because I know you have a lot of devices that use Wi-Fi. You know, everybody in the house.
There's a lot of devices on right now that everybody...
Yeah, that's what I mean. That's what I mean. So you have a lot more devices and stuff. I always try to go direct connect. Sometimes it's I gotta get a new cable myself. My wire is kind of shit, but it's pretty effective. So this is the void, as you can see, kind of just going around. All right. The games obviously can be a little bit chaotic, especially with all the stuff on screen. The Warframe for the PS4 is notorious for that. I wish it was more PC-like as far as the power is concerned, but when the PS4 released, it was very underpowered. Very, very underpowered console, so what can you do? Yeah, you got that. Nice. So we're gonna defend this console until, of course, the timer is out there. It seemed tough too. That's why it's taking it out so fast. Alright, grab that, let's go. Nice. It's like, what's up? Argon Crystal, yay. Okay, so whenever that you're in the void, the Argon Crystal is the rarest resource that you can find here. Very essential for crafting a whole lot of the weapons of the game. But here's the drawback. The Argon Crystal does not last forever. It does have a timer to where it does disappear after a certain amount of time. It's usually a day. I believe it is a day. So for 24 hours from the time to get the Argon Crystal, you have to use it, otherwise it'll disappear. Obviously, you get more, get more, but if you want to craft a whole bunch of things at once that does cost you an Argon Crystal, I would suggest basically looking for, a whole bunch of them as much as you can, at least within that day, and try to get them completed. Oh shit. Not want to go down there. Now, Warframe is not perfect, but it can be, it definitely could be a fucking problem, but it is alright.
Kind of weird. Instead of saying friend, it's something else.
Yeah. Old smoke. Died right there. Oh, there's Captain Vor.
Kill him. Kill him.
Every now and then, some missions like this, you get this pain in the ass called Captain Vor. I don't give a shit about this guy because, I mean, he's been just a pushover since Season 2. Why would he say call it Season 2? Because it's like more like a Season like 4 or 5 or some shit, I don't know. But anyway, Season 6. This is like the 6th year of Warframe.
How about me and Snake 1v1 on GTA?
Oh shit. I mean, if you want to go through that, man, if you want to go through that, Snake's up to you. You have a choice.
Oh, I'm not that good. I'm trash.
You trash, boy.
Only
Bring that ass here, boy.
I'm trash.
Oh no, he's down. He's down. Wait, no. He's getting revived. There you go.
Now, in other words, I was about to say her real name, but Princess HP. You guys know who I'm talking about. She's good.
Captain Vor can be a bit of a pain in the ass because he just all spread all over the place, but he's pretty easy to beat if you got the weapons for it and the team. He's down like a fucking light. He's out like a light.
Are you using a bow?
I do have a bow and arrow, yes.
Is that what that is?
Mm-hmm. This is, but this is actually, whoa, I'm getting killed. Get me out the way. This is actually my Senoid Gamma Core, which is a laser beam weapon. It's pretty powerful too. It does a lot of damage. It was at one point considered one of the best weapons in the game, but obviously when it comes to stuff like that, there's nerfs and there's buffs and stuff like that over time, and which I certainly don't agree with. especially in the cooperative scene. I don't think, but instead of having to nerf weapons in this fashion, I would think that having some kind of different algorithm for the opponents to be better, be smarter, would be more effective, but no one seems to go that route, even DE. So, but we'll see what happens in time. I don't know. I don't know if things are going to change in that regard. I'm not sure. I wish I did. Alright. Good. We completed that. Now we can get the hell out of here. Get to extraction. We are gone. We are gone, gone, gone. All right. We just wait right here for the last person. All right. Mission complete.
Excellent work, Tenno.
No problem. No problem. All right. Of course, weapon summary, as you can see, all the weapons and things that you have on currently. Right in the middle of the mod upgrades or mods that you pick up. All right. Now, you can always choose to stay if you want to, or you can always choose to go. You know, if you want to stay, you want to stay. But I'm sure you have plenty of other things you want to do. So let's go to Marduk. Back to our flying tadpole screen.
My intel suggests there are rich enemy supply caches in the area, but I am unable to pinpoint their exact location. Search them out if you are willing to shoulder the added risk.
Alright, whoa, watch out now. Watch out now. I'm getting attacked from behind. I wasn't paying attention, I was looking down. Alright.
The enemy are using a void key and a portable collision beam device to force open the portal, destroy the key and the device.
Who's party host?
Working caches. Gotta find 3 of them, of course.
And detecting 2 more faint beams.
I won't be able to hear them because I got the headset and the mic and I got the I'm on party chat now, so it's gonna be a little bit hard to hear that little faint. But I got one of them off the bat. I don't think it's changed much. Ah, right. Totally forgot. Totally forgot. There we go. Forgive me, it is very... It definitely is late. But I'm gonna hang on, of course, as much as possible. Thankfully, I don't have work tomorrow. Yay, Amy!
There's the treasure beam device that they've taken before you can find it.
Alright, so...
You've located the VIP. Time to go to work.
It's time to go to work indeed.
Quick, pick up the key. You got the key. Now get back to the portal.
And fuck work. So already got the key, no problem. It's annoying when it gets stuck sometimes.
Go through the portal now. It's about to collapse.
As you can see, that was my ability from Excalibur's ability, the slash dash, which you can use through the air. Kind of start like flying around the map.
Objective complete. The door key and torsion beam device are out of commission.
Alright,
Will not be returned.
so we can just simply leave this mission.
There are still undiscovered supply caches in the area. You may want to locate them before leaving.
Oh. Yeah, I could, but at the same time, I don't give a shit about the damn caches. Okay, maybe one. Let's see. Yeah, nope. Nope. Exactly. But, you know, you kind of get an idea for this Excalibur Umbra good. Yeah, he's essentially just a, you know, slightly upgraded Excalibur. Definitely has a lot more energy count. Which is good. There's always a plus to have a higher energy count anyway than the normal frame. And he has definitely a little bit better armor, but he's essentially what Excalibur Prime was supposed to be. just running in place, but Lord have mercy. I'm all over the place today.
You found all the caches. All of your objectives are complete. Proceed to extraction now.
Ugh. Definitely getting tired. Alright, coming back. Or is he just gonna stand up there? Oh boy. Get down here. They're vicious today, aren't they? This little son of a bitch. Fuck out of here. Ready to girl now? Come on. Let's get the hell out of here before I actually fall asleep on these bastards.
Another job well executed.
Alright. Let's keep going. So, it's almost hard for me to catch this right now, but let me get through it. Take a couple more missions, of course, to help these gentlemen out, and definitely do this next time, that's for sure. Really?
The enemy have taken a tower.
Of course they do.
You must recapture it. We are in total control. Keep fighting.
Oh. Hold on. Definitely shafted right now by all this damage. But I'm good. Mainly it's definitely changed what I'm used to. Sure, the combos are okay, nice and cool, but it's just how it works now is so different compared to years past. Something I have to relearn once again.
Tower lost. We have control of all 4 towers.
Damn right.
We have lost control of a tower. The enemy have captured a tower.
That's just being a little aggressive today, I don't know. So wow. That's a rare sight. A lot of damage taken. Of course I'm on down. But good news is, yeah, that was soul punch. Smart.
Message to
Yeah, it's hard. It could be worse.
clear out the remaining enemy forces.
Where you at? Where'd you go? Die. Oh. I was gonna say, well, that's alright. I couldn't revise it, right? That's that.
Extraction is available, but there are more messages to be decoded. Will you stay or go? Good work today. Not only have we decoded the enemy transmissions, we have also disrupted their communications.
Well, that is that. Alright. Alright. Let's see. Yes, the sacrifice is, I believe solo.
Keep the enemy busy while a fellow tunnel operative raids the ship for supplies. Ready? Trip up the alarm. They've turned off critical life support systems. I suspected they might try this. Stand by for support. The first life support capsule has arrived. Activate it and your supply is low.
So this one we have to survive quite a bit. You already know that. Try to last as much as possible. Stay strong here. Stick together too. Try to stick together as much as possible.
Get ready for a capsule.
Oh, okay. That's how you play. Definitely make good on life support crystals, life support consoles, actually. Have to be extra careful because I only have a few of these left.
Life support incoming.
My body's starting to kind of get up out on me. I don't know why, but it has been a long day.
I've delivered another life support capsule.
I keep switching. I will switch. There you go. That's better. Damn it. Man, you're like nowhere to be found. Hold on, hold on. Don't move.
Tenno, prepare for life support. Additional life support has arrived.
We can extract now. Let's roll. Let's get out of here. Don't need to waste any more time. Let's roll out.
Extraction is available if you need it. Our operative is making progress. This will help our cause. That should keep you going for a while.
Tenno use the keys, but they are mere trespassers. Only I, Thor, know the true power of the flame.
Life support on the way.
Now I will stop them. Now I am changed, reborn through the energy of
Force right here.
forever bound to their body. Let it be known, if the Tenno wants true salvation, they will lay down their arms and wait for the baptism of my Giannis Kiri. The Tenno are lost, and they will resist, but I,
Oh boy.
will cleanse this place of their impurity. This death is temporary. My existence is forever. I cannot be destroyed.
Additional life support has arrived.
Oh boy. That's never good. Just kind of lagged out. That's never good. Well, alright. Anyway, got your sacrifice, that's awesome. I had to hang back for some reason, I don't know why, but oh boy. My body is just not wanting me to stay up any longer, that's for damn sure. But of course, this is a sacrifice quest. No problem, man. No problem. As a matter of fact, what I'll do is this. I'll go ahead and I'll add you. See, okay. Add your friend there. So you'll see me on Warframe if you want. Alright. I'll send that. There we go. Cool. Yeah, so I'm definitely going to be on Warframe a whole lot more often. I hope so. Try to get my, I guess my passion back for it. But yeah. Have to sacrifice and be able to get Umbra. Like I said, Umbra's cool. Definitely the difference that you'll notice is, you know, a little bit of higher armor, energy, and of course his radio howl, instead of radio blind. Now, of course, just like a different animation, but same effectiveness. So. Well, that's gonna do it for the whole stream right now. Of course, anybody is looking. Thanks for watching. Just my body's just fucking tired. Ugh. Oh boy. Well, I'm just gonna end the stream and alright. That was good.